Let us begin. Monka S. Okikakushi. Opening. Welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry. The Okikakushi arc will be the opening, inviting you into this world. Inviting. Don't play tough, please just enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. The difficulty is extremely high, but I hope you will enjoy the reward. They're like, lol, he started the game not knowing what the fuck is waiting for him. Please do not lament, I will forgive you even if the world will not forgive you. Please do not lament, I will forgive you even if you will not forgive the world. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? Frederica Bernkastel. Depicting Guy Mas Erlong Odg or Arno, the fuck it said. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual people or organization is entirely coincidental. AD 1983, the early summer of 58th year of Showa era. Chad, you have to go a bit higher. There you go. If I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself. In such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. That mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud. They were like, don't at me. And yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She is no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why this pain, my eyes getting moist? Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough, and countless times I had wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I would feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take it the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind with her. Like flowers by a grave. Do you guys know what's happening? Now then, calm your nerves, even though you can't feel your right arm. Just lift it up, and with every swing forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Demure means... humble? Humble. Because this will be the last time, because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did. Potato, I watched anime and you gotta chill, okay? I don't remember everything though. Perhaps I really did. Love you. I still love you. Monka S. Welcome to Hinamizawa-kun. Okay. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I had last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. It had been a while since I had last went... Oh. The protag will be voice acted as far as I know, but like his thoughts I will have to read out loud. Even though I had lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads. The melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks. And the cry of the Higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There is nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints, there aren't even vending machines. No music stores, no restaurants. And no arcades. No Casey Arcade! An ice cream parlor, not a chance. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors where I used to live, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. I should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. What? Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey, you, the one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice. So some people won't be voice acted, like in every visual novel. Gomen nasai, gomen nasai. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally aroused from my nap by my father's prodding. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We had spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window and the city I was in half a day ago were in the same country. No, that they were even from the same era. From there, we would take a car deeper into the mountains. Monka S. This is like the stock cicada fucking sound effect. Past where the dense forest and encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. There, where I live now, Hinamizawa. Fucking dog barking. Yo, by the way, there was... Hold on, chat. Out of character. There was supposed to be like a guy coming to take some hardware. Not hardware, like electronics. From our house, because we have like a pile of fucking useless shit. That is supposed to be like thrown out, and... I hope they didn't come just now, because fuck that, they're in my, like, the stuff is in my room. And that would cause the stream to have a break, but I don't think it's them, so it's all good. Okay. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange you could fill your lungs up with a crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side. So I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Then I started living in Hinamizawa. I learned that even air had its own taste. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. Breakfast! My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. Even if someone spoiled the ending, will that person be banned until the end? Yes. Of course, why not? Bring Doc on mic, better commentary. He was probably up working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. Sounds like a streamer. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I would never tell him that though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. I don't remember there being anything mentioned about Keiichi's parents before. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. If I don't get up early, I don't make it in time for your early breakfast. I thought Protac would be voice acted. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't recall hearing anyone yesterday when I was testing the game. Monka S. We're gonna find out. I hope they're fucking voiced, dude. If they're not voiced today, they're gonna be voiced tomorrow. I'm gonna fix the game. They should be voiced. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. Full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that I covered it with the egg. Oh my god, food porn. Between bites of rice I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Excellent as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning, that was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. Higurashi when they have no voice to cry. No voices at all? There are voices. There is a voice patch that I have. Dude, this game was 4x3 before it was patched too. Now it's 16x9. This is PlayStation 3 edition. I guess that was what you would call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast. She woke up early. She woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I would slap myself, mindful of the time Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time to meet up with Rena-chan? Hurry, hurry! Mom really seems to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a grill. Rena is one of my classmates. She really loves cooking, looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. But well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I raced for the door. Please thank Rena-chan for the pickles. Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, weren't they? If I had known that, I would have savored them a bit more. Morning! Please be voice acted. Come on. Fuck! Ah, config. Ah, no, dude. Fucking debated. Dude, we can't. We need voice for this, dude. God fucking damn it, dude. Yeah, I wish I sat down yesterday and fucking double checked the patch for voices. I just saw that the art works. I was like, hell yeah, everything's gonna work. No. No, dude. That's not how it works. I don't think I want to... What's the word? Wait, switch sound? No. I don't think I want to... What's the word? Troubleshoot it now? I don't know why it wouldn't work though. Yo, who knows how long the first chapter is? Because when the drama begins, I need to have voices. I didn't buy the wrong version. The patch doesn't work. There is no right version for PC version of Higurashi. The game doesn't have voices until you patch it with the PlayStation 3 edition, which is what we have, given that the game is 16:9. But it's just there's no voices. Ch.1, good morning. Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. You're so consensuous and such a good person. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Right version. Ch.1, you're so cold. Oh, I wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust. Without looking back. Wow, what a bully. Why are you so mean? Why? Rana had a slightly troubled look on her face. Yeah, at least the art is nice, right? Not like the voice. I'll fix the voice by tomorrow. Rana had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. I'm kidding, I'll wait for you. With those words, Rana seemed to relax. Her face flashed bright red. Thank you. I'd wait forever until you came, Rana. No matter how long. Forever. Rana turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Have you ever read a romance novel, Rana? I haven't. Never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. Oh, you want to see original art, by the way? Yeah. Yeah. Power of Christ compels you. Monka fucking giga. Wait, the transparency thing fucking doesn't work. Fuck. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, a message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing, you're welcome. However, how were they? Not too salty. They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who pickled them, Rana? Or was it your mom? Huh? What do you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely... She's like asking... No, I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, even the background. Background was like blurred out IRL picture. Yeah, complain about Shibafuard now. Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Rana, or was it your mom? Why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. Ha ha, oh god. She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she had used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Fucking degenerates! Guys like me. Arana nervously opened and closed her mouth, over and over, trying to muster a response. It was me. Delicious. Huh? Pretty good. Just like the last ones. They went perfectly with rice. Debated. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Rena never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keep at it, Rena. I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself. Let's go. If we keep Mion waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she would just keep spacing out otherwise, I called Rena back to reality so we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Rena Ugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. Mi-chan, good morning! Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Just for reference. Yeah. Power of Christ compels you. Finally, you two are late. Usually you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Rena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Rena. It's been a while, Kei-chan. How many years? I was only off 2 days. Ahaha, you don't say. You were such a cute little tyke the last time I saw you. Mion then lowered her hands to about 1 meter above the ground. But you've only known me for a month. You've grown up so magnificently. All the trouble this old man had to go through was worth it. She gently took out the handkerchief and pretended to weep into it. Just what is she trying to pull off at 8 o'clock in the morning? Chat, I think I may know what fucked up. But watching it now would take at least 20 minutes because I would have to unpack a fucking zip file, so fuck that. Just what is she trying to pull off at 8 o'clock in the morning? Wasn't it me who went through the trouble through the trouble there? You've grown up so much, you even have a beard. My beard hasn't started growing yet. No, it's already growing. You got yourself a razor for it last week, right? That was my father's. Wait, how do you know that? Mion sneered at the question and then wagged her index finger right in my face. Just what is she playing at? Unzip while playing? I could unzip while playing, you're absolutely right. Alright, let me unzip it. I'm unzipping right now, Mr. Chad. Monka S. Voices. 7 zip, extract 2. Okay, it's extracting. You're a fucking smart person, my dude. Ha ha ha, never underestimate me on San's intelligence gathering skills. From your last meal to Rena's measurements, this old man knows it all. My interest piqued, I placed my hand on her shoulder while she was still smirking. I'll bite. What are Rena's measurements? Just as I thought, you really want to know. By the way, it's expensive. How much would you pay? Catching on to our awful discussion, Rena became flustered and began to ramble in a near panic. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. Good thing I'm already unzipping. How was it? Seeing the city again. Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic to something more befitting the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral, I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for? You're not listening at all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have any time to look around in toy stores. Chit. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know? It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled. Yup, I wanted K-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see. Westport was short for Western Important Games. Oh, she wants that Half-Life 1. Actually, this is 1986. What fucking game would you play? There was no consoles back then. Unless it's like a board game. We won't hear the homage Kairi. We have 5 chapters for it. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, guess I have to now. I'm going to get another game full of hot action. This time I would like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I would understand, let me play too. Alright, yo, it unzipped, but there is more to unzip. I'll unzip all of it, hold on. It will be faster later. Unzipped, and the last one. What the fuck did I just unzip? There we go. Extract 2. Okay, we're good. If there's a game you think I would understand, let me play too. Heh, of course. If K-chan is up for it, I should warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games, I don't intend to lose. Wow. Then we'll let you in on the group this time, I guess. Did Rena have a verbal tick? I think she did. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Rena laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I felt like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. Alright, chat, I'm gonna try to patch it real quick, okay? We're gonna save. I have everything ready, I just have to move the files. And they're unpatched, so they shouldn't take too long. There we go, we're back. Oh, we're back. Mr. Chat. Delicious. Did I play or watch Higurashi before? I watched the anime. But that was like 5 years ago. Inamizawa was a really small village. The thoughts will not be voice acted, so this I'll have to read this still. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. Wait, Inamizawa was a really small village. Yes, that class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building and they had actual separate classes. However, it seems something happened that made it become a single class, and now it stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Put chat higher? It didn't cover anything, did it? Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until now, then suddenly let me take the lead. Right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Heh. Too bad, I wasn't going to fall for that again. I see what you're saying. There you go. Alright, Chad, you're above the text. To think you would give up the lead here. Uh-huh. So what is voice acted? I'm not gonna read out loud. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face.
どうしたの二人とも。
下がってろレナ、危ないぞ。やつだ。
え？じゃあ、さとこちゃんが？
Her name was Satoko Hojo. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this.
見え見えの罠だな。引き戸の上に挟んだ黒板消し。
Alright, so what was happening? The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. He means, Satoko. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap, a blackboard eraser wedged in the door.
見え見えだぜ、サトコ。
Quite the obvious trap. Oh yeah, it's too obvious, Satoko. Haughty laugh came from beyond the door.
お見事、ケイちゃん。こりゃ今回は勝負あったかな。
いや、相手はサトコだ。これだけとは思えない。
After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one, traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you at least expect it, she strikes. No escape, no time to
見た
relax.
ところ黒板消しは普通。石とかは入れてないみたいだな。
Rocks? Oh my god. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. Yo, dude.
じゃあさ、ガラガラって開けて落としちゃえばいいんじゃないかな。
Oh my god.
それだ。
That's what Satoko was after. Making me focus my attention upwards so as I lifted my hand to the door. There were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with a tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap concealed by using the blackboard eraser.
見事なコンボだ、サトコ。だが所詮はガキの浅知恵だったな。
Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. By the time I realized she had me, hook, line and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in almost picturesque manner.
ケイちゃん、避けて。
Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor.
いっててって。
An ink stone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it.
あらあら、これはこれは。
We have to see the original, just in case. What do we have
お
here?
はようございます、ケイチさん。朝から賑やかですわね。
Okay, now that we know how she looks like, we can see how she looks like. Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice.
一段とスペシャルなトラップワークになったじゃないか、サトコ。
私何のことかわかりませんもの。朝からついてませんわね。
てめえ。あ、いててててて。
It seemed I had inadvertently sprained my back a little while when I had landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. Oh my god, it's coming. I can feel the wave coming. It's coming. Let me see how she looks. A small hand gently rubbed my head.
ケイチの痛いの痛いの飛んでいけです。ピパ
Okay.
ーン、ピパ
The small, dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head.
ーン。
Gently stroke my
腰
head.
とかはくじかなかったですか？こうして撫でていれば痛いの痛いのは消えてきますです。ピパーン。
I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts.
ありがとな。リカちゃんのおかげで痛みが引いてきたぜ。
リカちゃん、おはよう。レナにおはようございます。みんなにもおはようございますです。
Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back.
リカちゃんはいい子だよな。それに比べてサトコは。
I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact.
サトコはいい子でございますのことよ。
Oh, okay.
いい子はこんな凶悪な罠は仕掛けないぞ。
言いがかりでございますわ。
I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with.
ごめんなさいって言ってみな。言わないなら。
I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead.
何の証拠があってふな暴力反対ですの。証拠もないのに。
言っとくが俺のデコピンはすごく痛い。ベニヤくらいなら割る。
Oh, okay. Here's this fucking... What did he call it? Forehead flake of the power of fucking Deku, dude. Plus ultra.
やめて、寄らないでけだもの。
人様が聞いたら誤解するような言い方をするんじゃねえ。
A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt.
圭一が2日間もお休みしたから寂しかったのです。
Aww. Rika-chan really is just so... Nipa, how could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick.
悔しくなんかないもん。
Chad, you made her cry. God damn it, Chad.
泣いちゃダメです、サトコ。ファイト、おーです。
Rika gently patted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two are the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan.
今度はもっとすごい罠を仕掛けなさいですよ。
Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon.
サトコちゃん泣いている。かわいいよ。
持ち帰っちゃダメだからね。
でもちょっとくらいならダメかな。ダメかな。
どんなに可愛くてもダメなの。
じゃあ見てるだけ。見てるだけだよ。
Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to me, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or person.
物もまずいが誘拐はもっとまずいぞ。諦めろ。
じゃあ見てるだけ。見てるだけだよ。
That should be fine. Oh yeah. That should be fine. I don't know why I read that, like, subconsciously, thinking she won't read it, and she actually didn't read it. That should be fine, right? Rena swooned over to Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away.
先生来たよ。早く片付ける。サトコ、すずりあんたのでしょ。
Just from me on single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtack stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up.
間に合ったね。
Hell yeah, brother!
気をつけ。
Mion gave out the morning commands. It's difficult being the teacher of all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one, but naturally she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies. Oh.
君はお勉強教えるのうまいね。
Steve, there is voice acting. Steve, why are you awake?
わかりやすいよ。
Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section.
教える端から自信がなくなるよ。自分の理解の浅さがわかるな。
人に教えるには3倍理解してなければならないって言うしね。ケイちゃんもうちらに教えながら同時に復習もできてるわけなんだよ。
It's Saturday. Steve, did you stream Snapdragful? In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me?
ミヨンさ、一言じゃないぞ。真剣にやんないとまずいぜ。こんなレベルじゃ。
Wow.
別に進学校を目指すわけでもないし、受験に必要なそこそこができてりゃ十分十分。
Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relaxed than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams.
みーちゃん、ケイチ君が頑張って教えてくれるんだからさ、私たちも頑張ろうよ。
レナは素直ないい子だな。先生がきっといい
Chad,
学校
Paul
に
for
進学さ
best
せてやる
girl.
からな。
Best girl as of right now. Rena, Mion, Satoko, Rika. Rika is Nipa. Go, Mr. Chad, it's time to start hating each other. Where the waifu wars begin. Show original art, then do Paul. Oh god. Oh my fucking god. Nah. Oh my god, this looks so fucking good. We both know best girl hasn't been introduced. Okay. Okay.
うわ
Awawa.
ありがとう。
レナには特に教えてやるからな。二人きりでプライベートレッスンだぞ。
Oh my god.
プライベートレッスン。
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I would like to hear the play-by-play of that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question.
誤解じゃさ、こんなに勉強しなきゃいけないわけ？
この程度はできないと進学できないね。
進学できないから勉強するわけ？
まあ平たく言えばそうなるな。将来役に立たないのは承知で。
Wow.
こっちじゃさ、出席日数が足りてりゃみんな進学できるんだよ。
Really?
そうなのか
Oh my god, he said it. Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe go so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
そうかもね。試験で振り落とさなきゃならないほど人もいないし。
Oh, that is true.
誰でも進学できるならさ、そんなにガリガリとやることもないんじゃない？
まあそうだけど、でも一般常識程度にはできた方が。
おじさんはそんな無駄な勉強に時間をかけるよりさ。
This old Jesus thinks that instead of wasting time, yeah.
この思春期の貴重な時間をもっと有意義に過ごすために使うべきじゃないかなと考えるわけよ。
If my school were this small, I would kill no Steve, but then you would make it smaller. You would be part of the problem why it's so small. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of meaning. In place of a chime, shame chime, the sound of the principal waving a hand bell drifted through the classroom.
ケイちゃん、おしまいおしまい。さあ、楽しいランチタイム。
Let me see if I can do something about voices being louder. I think I read something about the music being like put together with the voices, so putting music lower will make the voices lower as well. And that is not good. Let me just double check. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
ケイチくん、お昼にしよう。
It's fine. Okay, I can make it louder then. Let's have lunch. I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me.
よっしゃ飯にするか
Let's go, boys. There seemed to be different cliques even within the class. Cliques? Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lagging their desks over as well.
ケイチくん、早く早く。
Boys at fucking Japan. Wait, what? Boys? Okay. Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunch boxes.
ケイチさんのお弁当は耳ちく日の丸弁当に決まってますわ。
Destitute plebeian? Dude, Satoko has like a very Ojo-sama type of like manner of speech. But she doesn't look like Ojo-sama, like a lady, you know?
さあ、恥ずかしがらずお見せなさいな。ほらほら。
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle.
おお待たせ
では、ミー委員長の号令でいただきますです。
At first, this was kinda embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends.
いただきます。
The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. This is an art for PlayStation, so we have a choice between this or this. Oh, there is no change. Okay, there was no CG originally, so the cara design will be different on the CGs. This is the PlayStation 3 art. PlayStation 3 or Manga Gamer? I don't know, one or the other. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mio noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch.
あらあら、ケイチさんのお弁当は今日は大奮発ではございませんこと。
あらあらさとこさんのお弁当こそ大奮発ですこと煮物がしっくていい感じですわ
Desua, buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross-counter, stabbing into each other's lounge.
あら、ビビ
お里芋がいい感じだぞ煮物は冷めててもうまいよな
After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
夕べの夕食の煮物を少し取っておきましたですよ。
By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day.
この煮物もリカちゃんが作ったのかい？こいつはお袋の味クラスだよな。
I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hand with a knife. Monka-ass knives. There is no original, I tried. There is no original for this particular scene. That's not easy to do.
リカちゃんって何気にそういうの得意なんだよな。
お裁縫とかお洗濯とかも上手なの。すごいよね。すっごいよね。
So, from what I can see, Rena will be repeating the end of her sentences.
リカはいろいろとすごいんですわよ。
I forgot that Satoko has a Joe-sama laugh. We won! Oh my god, I need volume to be higher now. I forgot she fucking laughs like a Joe-sama. Okay. Can I play that again? I just realized Oh girl is also blonde when it comes to hair. Is Rika future Oh? Yo, dude.
お前が威張ることじゃねえ。
僕よりレナの方がお料理は上手です。
Ah, it seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly.
これ前に評判良かったからいっぱい作ってみたの。美味しいかな？
Kana kana?
かなり合格点。あ、ミオ、お前取りすぎだよ。
Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time and struggle ensued. I need food. I'm fucking hungry. Play the version with no character models or anything, just text. I did that yesterday when my fucking art broke. My CGs were not loading, it was just black fucking screen with text. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kinda bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena. But Rena seemed rather satisfied, so as she looked on...
いかがかしら。レナさんもとてもお料理が上手ですことよ。
Want to see original again? Oh my fucking god. What is this, Toho? Oh my god, dude. Okay, quality. Oh, it's so good. Is anime considered spoilers? Yes, because anime is based on this game.
ケイイチさんとは大違いですの。
だからお前が威張ることじゃねえだろ。
サトコだってケイちゃんと変わらないじゃんよ。あんたブロッコリーとカリフラワーの区別つくようになったわけ？
Satoko's face went pale.
おいおい、ブロッコリーとカリフラワーの違いなら俺だってわかる。
Wait, shots fired?
わかりますもの。わかるもん。
It's really hard for her to lie.
ケイイチくん、どっちでも茹でてマヨネーズかけると美味しいじゃない？いじめちゃかわいそうだよ。みーちゃんも。
Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko.
まあまあ家庭科の授業ってことで。じゃあサトコ、これは？
Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in the bacon.
でもそれアスパラ。
Shh, Shurika, shh. Silence. Mion made eye contact with me, and within 3.3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Holding a piece of bacon wrapped asparagus, and giving her two choices, she's pretty terrible.
その黄色がカリフラワー、緑がカリフラ。
さあどっちだ？
多分黄色がブロッコリーで青がカリフラワー。で 緑は
Don't bully.
本当にどっちか分かってる？降参した方が良くない？
I would expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a Hajj, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
わかりますもの。わかるもん。
じゃあ答えなよ。
Baby Rage.
わかるもん。わかるもん。
God damn it, Chad, you made the lolly cry. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. Rana entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Rana was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheeks against Satoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile. I want to see original face of the world might as well end now. Yeah, it's ending. I feel the world is ending when I see this. Okay. Me is picking on me.
かわいいかわいい。大丈夫だよ。レナお姉ちゃんが悪い人たちはやっつけちゃうからね。
Oh, Imoto! Oh my god! Okay. She fucked her up, dude. And this is how Mion died. It was like a flash of lightning.
今一体何が？
Fucking Gomu Nomu Gatoring gun. Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts in our faces.
ケイちゃんは食らうの初めてだよね。今日のはまだ甘い方。
甘いって、これよりまだ上があるってのかよ。
With that, Mion and I both slammed our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena. Oh, there was no original. I'm pretty sure.
やっつけちゃったよ。
Because that was a CG. CGs were not in the original.
かわいい。お持ち帰りしたい。
Mochikairi! Making sure Rana couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Oh, you fucking Satan, dude. The child of the devil. Yes, a devil. Devil may cry. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance.
ねえケイチくん、明日はさ、何か予定とかあるかな？
It was such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I had misunderstood and turned red as well.
違うの。そういうのじゃなくて、
This is the PlayStation 3 patch, yes. That's why it's 16 by 9. So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, I went along with it a little.
なんだ、そういうのじゃないのかよ。
Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
ケイチくん、なんでがっかりしてるんだろう。太郎、みーちゃん。
Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back.
そっか、そういう攻め方はおじさん 知らなかったわ。
So Daxonet wasn't an invite. Yeah, feels bad, man. Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Rena flailed around, completely bewildered. Bewildered? I couldn't help but start laughing as well, feeling just a bit guilty. I ruffled Rena's hair.
嘘、ごめん、冗談。悪かったよ。
He really is a cute one.
冗談ってどこからだろう、どこからだろう。
え、あ、途中から。
途中から
Debated.
ってことはケイちゃん、最初の真っ赤になったのはあれ演技じゃないんだ。
それって。
It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her.
いや、その。
Saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. Self-debated.
で、明日が暇だと何なんだよ、レナ。
何の話だっけ？
Hey, this is what you get for teasing people. Then they lose memory and have amnesia, and then they fall into a coma. Wait, wrong story. Sorry. It had been so long that Rena had forgotten that's how long Mion had teased me.
ケイちゃんさ、まだこのひなみ沢一人じゃ回れないでしょ？
That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here.
そうだな。町へ行くのと学校へ行く以外はまだ自信ないな。
そうそう。それでね、明日ね、みーちゃんとレナでお散歩しながら、ケイチくんにひなみ沢を案内してあげようよってことになって。
That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer.
もちろん行くでしょ？
暇ならな。
女の子が誘ってんじゃん。
暇ならな。
Oh, yo, chat, the poll for the best girl. Let's see what you guys said. Best girl as of right now is Mion at 42% and Rika at 37%. Satoko at 6.7%. Somehow I'm not surprised. And Rena, yo, Rena people, good taste for sure. Mion, I can see why. Rika, go to jail. Okay. The jail is calling, my dude.
暇ならな。
I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp. Skilled carrier, aircraft, management personnel, to say so up front.
ケイチくん、暇じゃないのかな？
Kinda. While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I had been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in.
すまん、許せ、ごめん。暇だ。
Ah,
よかった。
Desu Desu. The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Can we get smiley faces?
ミオンさんとレナさんじゃ随分と温度差がありますじゃん。
It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her, compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind.
行こう、レナ。
This is like... This whole group is everyone bullies each other. And it's like a good bullying, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone teases one another.
明日は二人っきりで出かけような。嫌味なミオンは置いてって。
ケイチくんがそれでいいなら。
案内しようって提案したのは私。仕方 とすんな前原圭一。
二人きりでピクニック嬉しいな。弁当は持ってくかレナ。
お弁当いるならレナ作っちゃおうかな。
レーナもしかとすんな。二人がラブラブだって村中に回覧板を。
じゃあレナ今日
Wait.
は早く帰ってお弁当の準備するね。
Who just got punched in the face?
明日が楽しみ。じゃあねケイチ君にみーちゃんさようなら。
Rana bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face.
大丈夫か？ミオンとレナの立ち位置2メートルは離れてたはずだぞ。
あんたが来て以来切れ味は増す一方。
One down, call police.
おじさん身が持たないわ。
Maybe it would be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal.
くじけるなよミオン。レナのジャブを見切れるのはお前しかいない。
私は膝じゃないかと思ってんだけどね。
Could it be that we were hanging around with an unraveled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport.
レナには負けられないぞ。ミオンも鍛えてリベンジだ。
ケイちゃんがしてよ。おじさんは応援してる。
Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. $21.9. You wouldn't know cause you were a frail sick girl always locked in your hospital room. Oh my god, you have received new tips. We're a mixed grade, we don't have a uniform. View new tips, view all tips, save and load. Welcome to Hinamizawa. What is tips? Oh, is it like a scene? Or... hold on. Is it like a side story that we can skip? I think that's what it is. It shouldn't be that long.
そうだよ。
I don't know if we're gonna read them though. That's right.
人も同じだよね。
And now it would be weird if we were the same age but not the same zodiac animal.
そんなことないよ。誕生日の違いがあれば年齢が同じでも干支が違うこともありえるって。
あれ？あ、そうか。ミオン、頭いいじゃないか。
ところでケイチ君は何月生まれなのかな。レナは7月なんだよ。
I'm July 2. Chad, when were you born? Let's do what friends do. Let's ask for each other's birth dates. Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she?
だが諦めろ。俺に誕生日で挑もうったって無駄なことだ。なんならどっちが年上か罰ゲーム付きで勝負してもいいぜ。
Wait. Why is he making this into a contest?
なんでだろう。
Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun I can't help myself.
ってことはケイちゃん、ひょっとして4月生まれ？
そういうこったな。残念だな、レナ。俺、もうとっくにレナより年上なんだよ。
へえ、そうなんだ。じゃあみーちゃんと同い年なんだね。
まあ、ほんの何ヶ月かはね。すぐにまた差を開いてあげるけどさ。
Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. I'm one to talk. Heh.
そういえばミオンって上
Wait.
級生なんだよな。
As if I'm one to talk. Okay. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Horny teenager is something to pass the time. He isn't able to be at home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? Original art is better? You think so? Okay.
下級生の方が燃えるってんなら今日から下級生ってことでもいいけど。
みーちゃんよくわかんないこと言ってる。
Just by seeing Rena's blushing, what seems to be her face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it though.
でサトコとリカちゃんが下級生ってどころか学校が違うくらいの下級生だよな。
圭一君はちょっと好みの年齢が低すぎると思うな。
No, no. Chad, your face is gonna turn into that if we keep looking at it. You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit.
やめて。
前から思ってたんだけどさ、なんでこの学校ってクラスが学年混在。
Yo, are we back in the story? Delete? I can't save. Oh, is it because we're in the side story still? I think that's weird. I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up.
教室の数が足りないからだよ。仕方ないじゃん。営林署の建物を間借りしてんだからさ。
When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here.
なんで借りてるんだよ。本当の学校はどうしちゃったんだよ。
Monka S.
戦前からずーっと立ってたらしいからね。老朽化でね。
Dilapidated? So like... It fell down? Dilapidated. Yeah, it fell to ruins after being so old, I think, is what they mean. You will need this for class trial. Okay.
廃校ってわけよ。
It probably was a grand old schoolhouse.
まあそれで生徒は町の学校に通うことになったんだけどさ。遠いでしょ。
どこの学校だったの？
沖宮の駅前通りを抜けて病院に曲がって小児科の向かいに学校あるのわかる？
遠いよ。
I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rena's reaction.
まあそんなわけでさ、沖宮の学校に通いたくない連中はこうして営林署の建物を間借りした仮校舎に通ってるってわけさ。
南沢の子供の半分くらいかな。朝早くに自転車で通ってる子たちも結構いるよ。
こんなはちゃめちゃな学校に通ってたら進学校とかはちょっと無理だろうからね。
そんなことないよ
Rep education.
みーちゃん。ちゃんと頑張ればどこでだってお勉強はできるよ。
お、そうだぞそうだぞ。レナとは意見が一致したな。
そうだね、そうだね。頑張ろう。
せいぜい頑張ってくださいな。おじさんはささやかに応援しとりますわ。
俺たちがじゃないぞ。ミオンがだぞ。お前受験生だろ。こんな成績じゃお先真っ暗だぞ。
いいもんいいもん。路頭に迷ったら永久就職してケイちゃんに食わせてもらうから。
Let's make sure to get the fuck out of this town before that happens.
永久就職ってなんだろう、なんだろう。
Chad, do you think Rena would be jealous if we went for Mion?
ほらそこ、うるさいですよ。自習は静かに。
The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It is just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education, but it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Kids, oh my god. Okay. I mean, we don't need explanation why there is no uniform then. Save. Desu. End of chapter. Wait, how many chapters are there? I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Late for a date. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Oh, casual clothes? Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place.
ケイちゃん遅いぞ。
悪い悪い。責めるのは昨べの面白かった特番に行ってくれ。
女の子との待ち合わせに遅刻して言い訳がそれってわけ？
みーちゃんだって今来たばかりなんだよ。
Oh yeah, you guys want to see how it really looks like, don't you? I mean, that's not how it really looks like. Monka ass. Power of Christ compels you. What is going on here though? What the fuck? Where does the torso even end? He was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic.
ケイちゃん、あの後レナ大張り切りだったらしいよ。
別に俺がけしかけたわけじゃないだろう。
そんな大変じゃなかったから気にしないでよ。ね。
夕べから今朝まであのテンションらしいよ。
Dude, I'm super hungry. She had a gun? Yeah, something like that.
責任取れんの？
わかった。俺も男だ。責任は取る。
I don't know if that was a gun.
責任ってなんだろう。
You're hungry too? Shit. As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we were talking about here.
2キロくらいかな。
2 kilos of food? I'm so fucking hungry, I would eat it all.
レナね、荷物持つときよっこらしょって言ってた。5キロ。
I say 5. Oh.
それはオーバー。ケイチくん男の子だからきっといっぱい食べるだろうと思ってたくさんね。もう行こう。よっこらよっこ。
Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes.
先生、俺も5キロ。
手伝いはするけど全部食べるんだからね。レナを悲しませたら許さないよ。
The only thing I could do at the moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. It's 5 kilograms of food right now. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly deck jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around.
あ、こんにちは。
こんにちは。あら、そちらは。確か 前原くんだったかしら。
MILF from the neighborhood appears. My two companions exchange greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passers-by even knew my name.
なんで俺ってこんなに有名人なんだ？
We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid.
悲しいかな。ひなみ沢は人が少ないからね。みんな顔見知りなんだよね。
つまりなんだ？
I'm not gonna click them, Zeros.
知らない顔が歩いてれば、それは自動的に新しく引っ越してきた前原さんってことになるわけか。
そういうことになるね。
It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I would better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. It's faster than the internet. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
もちろんわかるよ。最初に会ったのが牧野林店の竹蔵おじさん。趣味は盆栽と尺八なんだよ。
Is she a walking fucking, like, Facebook?
次が乾物屋の次男の大輔くん。趣味は狙撃で、将来の夢は超永久スナイパーだとか。それで今の人は入江診療所の看護師の美代さん。趣味は野鳥の観察と撮影だって。
すれ違った全員の名前までわかるのかよ。プロフィールまで。
Seeing my surprise, Mio and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter.
はあね。ここいらは都会みたいにご近所付き合いが希薄じゃないからね。
試しに聞いてみよう。今ここにいる俺は誰だ？
前原圭一くん。意地悪なこと言うけど、本当は優しいテレ屋さん。
転校してきてようやく3週間。趣味は昼寝。
How does she know that?
最近トランクス派に転校
Bruh.
したよね。
Bruh.
もういいもういい。
トランクス。
それもいい。
Apparently, there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. Trifle or trifle, Chad? One or two? First or second reading?
俺のための案内ってより、俺のお披露目みたいだな。
Steve, what are you posting? God fucking damn it, you baited. God fucking damn it. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around.
そうだね。うちらさ、これだけ賑やかに練り歩いてたからね。みんな思うんじゃない？ケイちゃんもひなみ沢に馴染んでくれたんだって。
ひなみ沢は過疎だから。
I wonder why.
村中みんなが新しい仲間を歓迎してくれてるの。
I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who had just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course we were called out to again. The same way.
あら、こんにちは。仲良しそうでいいわね。
藤島さんちのおばさんだよ。こんにちは。
あら、前原くん、両手に花でいいわね。
Oh.
どう？
Nipa means brilliant smile for anyone wondering. I didn't know it had meaning. I thought it was just like a verbal tick. Peace out, Akai Kaza. Trifle? Okay. A dying small village? Yo, I think I've seen this anime since... When did Sakura Quest get a VN? Oh my god. No, dude. No.
生活はもう慣れた？
Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was.
グッド。
As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
でね、そろそろお昼にし
Kana kana! Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other.
俺も男だ。努力はする。
The joke is that they don't know if they're gonna be able to read everything. I don't know what Dragon Song is.
だが量が多すぎる。
よしケイちゃん、ここはおじさんに任せなさい。
Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I would expect no less from the class representative.
レナ、どうせ食べるならさ、見晴らしのいいところで食べない？
それいい。賛成。
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Up the stairs into the temple. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
ここはね、古出神社っていうの。多分見晴らしが一番いいところかな。
ここの場所、よく覚えといてね。もうすぐここでお祭りがあるんだから。
へえ、祭りにしちゃちょっと早いシーズンだよな。
綿流しは夏祭りじゃなくてね、昔は冬の終わりを喜ぶお祭りだったらしいよ。
I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. I mean, even in Kankolo you have festival at the end of summer. Right.
さて、弁当を広げてと。
Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey Mion, I'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know? It will take more... okay.
こんにちはです。
They came to help eat. It was Rika and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan. To power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place and is my specialty.
騒がしいから来てみれば、これは何ですか?
Why you gotta be so mad? Peace out, Steve. We just had to come. There was such a come. Okay.
見りゃわかるだろ。これからランチタイムだ。ビュッフェスタイルだ。レラの手作り弁当に舌鼓だ。
そんなの見ればわかるでございますわ。どうして人様の庭でご座なんか広げてますの?
A tarp on our property.
神社は公共の場所だぞ。勝手に独占するな。
圭一の言う通りですよ。みんなのお庭にしますです。
When will Rika say Nipa, for fuck's sake? I want to hear the Nipa.
くー、やっぱりリカちゃんはいい子だな。座りな、そこ。一緒に食べよう。
After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko.
ちょっとお待ちなさいな。私はどこに座ればいいんですの?
お前に座る場所はないし、食べる分もない。
Huh? Oh, someone's getting cocky. Someone's getting cocky. Keiichi thinks he's gonna eat it all now.
大丈夫だよ。さとこちゃんの分もちゃんとあるから。
ない。さとこの分も俺がいただく。
そんなことは許せませんの。リカ。はい、お箸です。
You guys want to see something? This is why this game has a horror tag. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other.
いやはや、ケイちゃん乗せるのうまいわ、ほんと。
Oh my god. Wait, the game is at 4x3 now! No! Fuck! I self-debated myself. God damn it. Alright, maybe the next art will load in 16:9. Hopefully it will. Fuck! Man, really, Kai-chan, you're really good at leading people on.
才能あるのかもしれない。
はい、お皿。みーちゃんもリカちゃんも。
And I whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. Oh!
僕たちも頑張らない
16:9!
となくなってしまうです。
Delicious!
そうだね。よし。参戦と行くかな。
いっぱい食べてね。ちゃんとみんなの分あるから。
Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that the 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different.
そのハンバーグは渡しませんわ。
Alright, I don't think there was an art originally, like you guys were asking. Yeah, there is no art. He got his ass fucking kicked, dude. He was sent flying. He became a burb.
いや、肘は反則だろう、サトコ。
襟首をつかむのも反則でございます。
It was a tough battle blocking with her full momentum. Blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves, Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. I beat the shit out of that kid in this food match, my dude, and I'm so proud of myself.
最後のミートボール。
校長サトコ、破れたり。
Crushed. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I would do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh.
日本語ってやつはさ、どうしてこう味に対する賛辞が少ないんだろうな。
Oh, trust me, they invented more 10 years later. Higurashi was made in like, what, 2003? By now we have so many fucking food porns. Oh my god.
食事中の団らんって考えがそもそも近代に入ってからだからじゃない？
昔の人は無言で食事を済ませたそうだし、作る人もちょっぴり寂しかったろうね。
I'm kinda jealous of people eating in silence. It saves the fucking time in the episode in the anime and gives us more action instead of Fate stay in the kitchen.
きっと昔の人は食べるのに忙しくて味を褒める暇もなかったのですわ。
That's just you. Come
で
on,
も
bruh.
ね、美味しいの一言だけでも嬉しいよ。苦労の甲斐があったかなって。
She blushed a little as she said that.
美味しいです。
My god. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence.
Huh?
After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Ow, ow.
リカちゃん、お持ち帰りじゃなくて、ありがとう。本当に美味しかったですよ。
Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way.
なんだよサトコ、その挑戦的な目は。
皆さんにはレナさんのリンゴを獲得できるだけの賛辞が用意できまして。
強気じゃんよ。ボキャ品のあんたにどんな賛辞が思いつくっての？
Shots fired at her education.
ではご覧あそばせ。
After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
エレナお姉ちゃんのお弁当、サトコも美味しかったよ。
Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. Wowie. Wow, how was that a praise? That's not very even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is Rena limited special skill. She blushed on her head spoon, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena. Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glumped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her.
かいかい。サトコちゃんもかいよ。お持ち帰り。
Stolen! Swish! Stab! Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair to think she had such a trick.
悔しければレナさんにご褒美がもらえるような賛辞をお考えあそばせ。
Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even a prize.
サトコ、それで勝てたつもりとはね。あんたらの底の浅い技とはわけが違うものを見せてあげようじゃない。
それは頼もしいぜミオ。それはどんな技なんだ？
やるのはケイちゃん。
はあ？
見せてもらおうではございませんか。豊島のあがきを。
The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. Okay, ready. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly.
本当に美味しいよな。これってさ、全部手作りなのかい？
実はね、これほとんど冷凍物なの。
じゃあレナの手作りのってどれだい？
恥ずかしいな。教えなきゃダメ？どうしても？
From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox. Her expression had melted into euphoria. Wait, I don't understand what's going on. Synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox.
わかるよ。これでしょ。
Rena turned an even deeper shade of red. The words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face.
なんでわかるかな？レナの手作り。
Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a bit. Next would be the finisher.
レナの匂いがしたから。
Is this like, you know, what is it called? Fujo? Kinda? Like, oh, the lady killer, Keiichi-kun. Silence enveloped the area. Rena's face still completely red, brows solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too.
レナの手作りのリンゴのウサギさんが食べたいな、なんて。
Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment, a nearly. It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Instantly dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
はいしてケイチく
Hehehe. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. How about the apples, Satoko? Looks like we win.
ケイちゃん、殉職見事なり。どうよ、さとこ。うちらの完全勝利だね。
こんな手信じられないですの。悔しくないもん。
Baka. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
リカちゃん、食べないの？塩水強すぎたかな？かな？
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
うさぎさんがかわいそうです。助けてあげてほしいです。
Oh my god! Pui. That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose.
かいいよ。今夜こそ絶対本持ち帰り。
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them up on the plate.
これでみんな寂しくないよね。これリカちゃんにあげる。ね。
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee. A referee, after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her, she whispered.
僕たちが勝ちましたです。逆転負け。
I just don't care. He's still eating those apples, dude. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Oh. I honestly don't know how long one chapter is. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly.
じゃあね、レナにケイちゃん。また明日ね。
ミオ、今日はありがとな。楽しかったぜ。
また明日ね。
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
ケイチくんも今日は付き合ってくれてありがとう。楽しかった？
ああ、楽しかった。まだ家に帰るのが惜しいくらいだぜ。
じゃあさ、ちょっとだけ寄り道してもいいかな？
寄り道？遠いのか？
ちょっと歩くけどすぐ済むから。
Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. Oh yeah, there's no Nipa counter. We could do a Nipa counter. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper.
今日は久しぶりだから何かあるかな？何かあるかな？
久しぶりって、レナのようはあのゴミの山かよ。
ゴミじゃないよ。レナにとっては宝の山だもん。
There's a treasure hunter. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here.
わあ、新しい山だ。ワクワク、ワクワク。
She descended down stable slope with ease. I would expect no less from a born and bred country girl.
おい待てよ、今行くから。あったたたた。
My city-raised self was completely pitiful.
いいよ、ケイチ君はそこにいて。すぐ済むから。
Rana kindly declined my accompaniment. Accompaniment?
転ぶなよ。足元に気をつけろよ。
大丈夫だよ、大丈夫。全然平気。
Literally bounding among the heaps of trash, Rena disappeared from sight. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. She becomes trash. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. Let's see what's his demon form. Oh, there is no demon form. Okay. His body was tanned and fit. But something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case.
おっと、びっくりした。
Although startled, when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line.
驚いたのはこっちですよ。
ごめんごめん。
Demon form.
驚かすつもりはなかったんだ。君はひなみ沢の人かい？
I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious gaze, he introduced himself without my prompting.
僕は富武。フリーのカメラマンさ。ひなみ沢にはたまに来るんだ。
I didn't ask you who you were.
写真ってのは被写体に断ってから撮るのが礼儀なんじゃないんすかね。
ごめんごめん。メインは野鳥の撮影でね。
Were cameras like those back in 1986? I have no idea.
断った試しがないんだよ。
They can't say no, he says. So what, you're saying I'm the same as the bubs?
いやいや、夕闇に黄昏る少年があまりにも絵になっていたんでね。本人の許可を取らずにファインダーを覗いたことを謝るよ。
Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself.
ケイチ君、待たせてごめんね。もう終わりにするから。
Stream disconnected. Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand.
連れがいたのかい？お、彼女はあんなところで何をしているんだい？
That's what I wanted to know.
さあね、昔起こった殺人事件の死体でも探してるんじゃないですか。
Monka S. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Oh, I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others.
嫌な事件だったね。まだ見つかってないんだろ？
Monka S.
ケイチ君お待たせ。待ったかな
馬に蹴られる前に退散するかな。驚かせてすまなかったね、ケイチ君。
Peace out, Aniki. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit.
ケイチ君怒ってる？
It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now.
どうだった？掘り出し物は見つかったか？
聞いて聞いて。あのね、あったの。ランディ君人形。
No idea.
ランディ君人形ってあれか？ファーストフードの店の前に必ず置いてあるあの等身大人形の？
そう、ランディ君。かわいい。お持ち帰りしたい。
I mean, no one would mind if she took home something from the garbage pile, right? I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but well, she seems to want it.
あれはゴミだろ。お持ち帰りしたきゃしてもいいんだぜ。
他の山の下敷きになってるの。
Oh.
簡単には掘り出せないし、あそこ明かりがないからすぐ暗くなっちゃうし。
Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back.
俺も手伝ってやるよ。今日のうまかった弁当の恩返しってことでさ。
ありがとう。
Ow, ow. She seems to want it. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
君が手伝ってくれる。ランディ君をお持ち帰りできる。
How? Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state.
なあレナ、あそこで昔なんかあったのか？
ダムの工事をやってたんだってね。詳しく知らないけど。
例えばさ、工事中になんかあったとか、事故とか。
知らない。
Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
実はね、去年までよそに住んでたの。
Local girl goes, how? Oh.
レナも転校生だったのか？俺はてっきり。
だからね、それ以前のことはよく知らないの。ごめんね。
Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Or the Cicada. Sukada. Monka Giga. You have received the new tips. The bar mentioned the damn side murder dismemberment. Ah. Ah. Are we reading that? I mean, Maibara Manor is like whatever, right? It's where Keiichi lives. This sounds like lore. From the June something 1979 edition. The Shishibona City Okonomiya Police Station, June XX, late at night. Suspects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, 4X's, has been added to wanted lists nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site work room on the XX at 9 p.m. where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer, 4X, as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the XX at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibona City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. 4X. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. Okay.
ランディ君人形？ああ、そりゃレナのツボだわな。
レナがサトコやリカちゃんをお持ち帰りしたくなるのはわかる。
I understand. I totally understand when someone tells me that they want to take some lollies back home.
だが、ランディ君人形だけは理解できないぞ。あんなメガネ親父のどこがいいんだ。
そりゃあレナに直接聞けばいいじゃん。どうせ。だって可愛いんだもんしか言わないだろうけどさ。
レナはよくあそこ工事現場のとこへ宝探しに行くのか？
ちょくちょく見に行くって言ってましたです。
しかし年頃の女の子がゴミあさりね。
レナが楽しいならいいんだと思いますです。
That's so.
あそこはなんだよ。ダムの工事現場だったのか？
It had been bugging me since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch.
何年か前に中止になっちゃったけどね。
みんなで力を合わせて戦いましたです。
Hearing an ominous word like thought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me.
そうそう。何しろとんでもない話だったんだよ。ひなみ沢が丸ごとダム湖に沈むことに一方的になってさ。
So I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded.
ごめんね。待たせちゃったかな。申し訳ありませんわね、ケイチさん。お化粧直しに時間をかけちゃいまして。
Okay. Okay, lady.
さあとこ、便所には溜めてから行け。一気に出せて楽で早いぞ。
花も恥じらう乙女になんて口の利き方。
He was talking about peeing. Who was she calling a maiden? If Satoko really was a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued.
さてと、今日は快速に乗っ取り、部員の諸君に是非を問いたい。彼、前原圭一君を新たな部員として我らの部活動に加えたいのだが、いかがだろうか。
I told myself I never watched this, now I am hooked, fuck me,
レナは意義なし。貧民風情が私の相手を務められるかしら。僕もサトコも賛成しますですよ。
The three that Mion had voiced their approval.
全会一致。おめでとう、前原圭一君。君に栄えある我が部への入部試験を許可する。
順を追って説明しろ。俺はまだ入るとは言ってないぞ。何の部活だ？
我が部はだな。複雑化する社会に対応するため、活動ごとに提案される様々な条件下、時には順境、あるいは逆境からいかにして。
レナは弱いからいじめないでほしいな。仲良くやろうね。レナさんは甘えてますわ。弱いものは食い尽くされるのが世の常なのでございますわよ。
This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it?
つまりみんなでゲームして遊ぶ部活なのです。
Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use. By playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day, It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place.
先に断っとくけど、ままごと遊びみたいなレベルじゃないからね。一生いっぱいに
This is no
命が
game, no
かかって
life
るくらい
fucking
本
level,
気でか
dude.
かった方がいいよ。
You should, okay. Uh-huh.
楽しくやれればいいじゃないか。そう凄むなよ。
快速第一条、狙うのは1位のみ。遊びだからなんていういい加減なプレーは許さない。
快速第2条、そのためにはあらゆる努力をすることが義務付けられておりますのよ。
The way Satoko said it sounded like she was saying, use any means necessary.
もちろん僕も頑張りますです。レナも弱いけどね、精一杯頑張ってるの。
I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun.
よし、俺も本気でやってやるぜ。
With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club.
ケイちゃんに一応忠告ね。レナも結構えげつないからね。
This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school? Well, it's club equipment, so I guess that's fine.
難しいゲームはケイちゃんだけに不利だからね。今日は誰にでもわかるゲームにしよう。スタンダードにトランプのジジ抜きはどう？
What?
よし、受けてやるぜ。
I don't know what that is, dude.
やっぱり
Play
罰
some
ゲームがないと
fucking Uno,
問題
dude.
よね。今回はビリに顔面落書きの剣。どう？
ああ、油性じゃないよね。油性じゃないよね。
Permanent? She wants to draw on our faces with permanent marker.
上等でございますわ。
Satoko cheered the idea on. He didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. It seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either.
じゃあカード切ってみんなに配るね。
Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. There's only one difference, there's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there will be one card without a much left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game.
じゃあ1枚抜くね。
Rena took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently.
ま、終盤になればおのずとわかるし。最初はどうしようもないよな。
But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be.
このトランプ、結構傷物だろ。まさかみんなにはその傷でそこに伏せたカードが分かってる？
快速第2条ですわ。ケイチさんも勝つために最善の努力をなさいませ。いくつかのカードは特徴的だからケイチ君にもすぐ覚えられるよ。
He said that so matter-of-factly.
上等だぜ。この程度でハンデになると思うなよ。
I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they had gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. If this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Bring it. I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. That baseless confidence would soon be crushed.
ケイちゃんの手札を右から言うぜ。3、4、9、ジャック、クイーン。
ちなみにジジはダイヤの J なのです。どうカードを入れ替えたって見え見えですわ。上がりですな。
Keiichi has turned into a burb. I thought I was prepared, but for it to be this brutal, just overwhelming.
鬼だ。こいつらは鬼だ。レナは鬼じゃないよな。
ごめんねケイチくん。こっちがハートの3だよね。あがり。
Not even a hint of mercy. Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a death match on a deserted island, these guys would probably take to it like fish to water. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates.
ポイントは減点制ね。
Yeah, Kakegurui. It's the lowest point
着
system.
順がそのままマイナス点。トータルで一番少ない人が優勝。
ではケイチはビリなので5です。
There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard.
やっぱりさ、綺麗なトランプでやらないとケイチくんに不公平だよ。
いいのいいの。ケイちゃんだって男だし。これくらいの逆境は跳ね返せるよね。
貧民風情は逃げ帰って涙で枕を濡らすのがお似合いでございますことよ。
A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's.
ファイト、おーです。
Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I could master during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maebara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, several of the cards have their own distinct markings. Making them stand out, memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation, try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory.
わあ、うまいよケイチくん。その調子。
I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen.
角が割れているのは5だったはずです。上がりましたです。
Oh my god, I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satoko fanned out her cards for me.
欲しいのは7なんだが、これかな。
さてどうかしら。聞いてみないとわかりませんことよ。
There was a bit of dismay in her expression, like she doesn't want to take in that kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me.
見えた。これだ。
Got it! 7 of spades! A cheer of oh rang out!
なんですって7は一番わかりにくいはずですのに。
It wasn't from memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions as I was selecting a card were enough.
ほら、ケイちゃん隠さない。この傷が確かダイヤの2だったよね。あれ
She was startled by her own misread. Of course everyone else was too.
ああ、みーちゃんがカード間違えるなんて珍しいね。
違う。ケイちゃん、あんた、まさか。
They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch. So I put a new one on it.
ダイヤの2を偽装したというですの？味な真似をするでございますわ。
Debated.
ケイチ、一矢報いましたです。
Clap, clap, clap.
やったねケイチくん。大前線だよ。
Having defeated the forerunner Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win, and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves.
まあビリは確定だけどさ。最後にミオンから1本取れたから大満足かな。
That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who was at the top already and ensured victory.
この回仮にケイちゃんが1着になってもトータルビリが確定するんだけど嫌でしょ。
当たり前だ。
一騎打ちしようよ。ワンチャンス勝てたらケイちゃん1位で私ビリの大逆転なんてどう？乗るでしょ。
She fell for it! Oh my god! A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it.
ワンチャンスだと？ルールを説明しろ。
Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled and the resulting hand behind her back.
右手のカードと左手のカードどっちがジョーカーか当てたらケイちゃんの勝ち。
今後ろに回した時ジョーカーを抜いたってことはないだろうな。
ケイちゃんが負けたら反対の手のカードも公開するよ。それなら OK でしょ。
The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events.
よし乗ってやる。
Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks. I couldn't tell which one it was.
どっちだろう。ケイチ君慎重にね。
ああもちろんだぜ。逆転の大チャンスだ。
Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I hadn't seen before.
あのカードは。
I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me. Mion clacked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Satoko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker.
ケイちゃんは右のカードを疑ってる。じゃあ右にする？右？
The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to declare that the card on to the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was the most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rushed to decide based solely on Satoko's reaction? More carefully. I remember now. That mark, the left card, no doubt about it. 7 of clubs.
うん、きっとクローバーの7だね。
I've won! The card on the left was the 7 of clubs. So that meant the card on the right was the Joker. And then just before my hand touched the right card, I froze.
さすがミオンだよ。
There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden hold, right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker.
ケイチさんは何を言ってるのでございましょう。
Change to original art will look like Yu-Gi-Oh!
だって左。C です。
Nah, I can't. The demon form is scaring me.
へえ。ケイちゃんはどうして右がジョーカーじゃないって確信できるの？
Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled.
右のカードが何かは俺にもわからないさ。だが左のカードがクローバーの7だってことだけはわかる。
じゃあ残る右のカードがジョーカーなのじゃありませんこと？必ず左右どっちかがジョーカーという約束でしょ？
ああ、左右のどっちかにジョーカーがあるのは本当だろうな。
This guy's in hyperthinking mode.
いいです。リカちゃん、それってどういう？
つまりさ、クローバーの7はさっき俺がサトコのスペードの7と合わせて捨てたカードなんだよ。
Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile.
つまりミオンは捨て札を1枚拾って左のカードに重ねている。つまり
そうか、わかった。左のカードをクローバーの7に見せかけているんだね。
It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. Then, with a ground flourish, I declared it loudly.
ジョーカーは左手だ。
It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion.
初代部長として私も様々なプレイングを見てきたけど、ケイちゃん、あんたはベストだよ。ベストオブザベストオブザベスト。
That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. My comeback victory! Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory.
リカちゃんか？
Rena and Satoko gaped at us as if they had seen a ghost.
なんだよレナ。別に俺はインチキしてないだろ。先生堂々と。
リカは慰めるときにしか頭を撫でませんの。
Huh? What's the meaning of? At that moment, Rena let out a small shriek.
ケイチくん、こんなことって。
ケイちゃんならさ、ここまで読んでくれると思ってたよ。
Fucking quadruple debated. Everyone froze. No, it was just me.
賭けだった。ケイちゃんがおてんばさんの早とちりだったなら、負けてたのは私だった。
It was the answer everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing hand.
ケイちゃんはさ、この負けを誇っていいよ。
She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable, it was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I had just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it.
部長、園崎美音の名において、前原圭一、あんたの我が部への入部を許可する。
As I slumped to my knees, dazed, everybody let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat.
これにて決着。本日の優勝は私、園崎美音。栄えあるビリは前原圭一。
That was a long fucking duel, dude. Like a whole episode of No Game No Life. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing.
みーちゃんが後ろ手で細工したとき、またやるんだって思ってドキドキしちゃった。
That's how you lose your house.
ケイチさんが正解に触れる直前で止まったときにはかかったって思いましたわ。見事に引っかかってくれましたです。
Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly?
楽しくなるようにみんなで盛り上げましたですよ。
Yo.
お前らみんな鬼だ。人手なし。
さて、ケイちゃんに罰ゲームだね。今日は部活の初日だしね。ソフトに行こうかね。いきなり登校拒否になられちゃ困るし。
Oh. The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker and it's a giant permanent one.
さて、行くよ。
She took the cap of the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized.
いや、やめろ。
And this is why this game has a horror tag. I let out my death throes. Draw penis. We're gonna save because just in case I fucking close the game again. I tend to do that a lot by accident. As soon as the club activities were finished, Rena flew off. Probably so she could dig out that cute Colonel Randy that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence.
宝の山か。捨ててる連中もまさかレナに感謝されてるとは夢にも思わないだろうね。
Mountain of treasure, meaning that damn construction site from before. Alright, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there.
あそこさ、ダムの工事現場、なんかあったんだろ昔。
そりゃあったよ、戦いが。座り込みやったりデモをやったり。
It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I would listen. Just the same.
自分たちの土地がダム湖に沈むんだもんな。俺だって戦うだろうな。
役人どもは本当に一方的だった。偉そうで威張ってた。金で解決できないと悟ると、あらゆる嫌がらせをしてきたんだよ。いやらしい奴らだった。
Mion spoke excitedly as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her.
よく勝てたな。相手は国だろ。
村長や村の有力者たちがね、方々に陳情した。東京にも行ったし、いろんな政治家に根回しもした。そうしてるうちに計画は撤回されたんだよ。私たちの完全勝利だった。
Hello, Dad. Did you remember Tremulous? Alt players created a game based on Tremulous and it came out today on the stream. Steam. More Nathan. I'll look into it, Abby-kun. Hello. I'll check it out. I'll look into it. Ah ha ha ha.
暴力沙汰とかにはならなかったのか？傷害事件とか殺人。
Oh, he's what's the word? Crying?
なかった。
Oh, she's lying! She promptly cut me off, the same as Rena had. Her words signaled the end of discussion. Tomitaka-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that the murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside.
じゃあね。また明日ね。ケイちゃんそれ、うちに帰るまで消しちゃダメだからね。
わかってるよ。消さねえよ。
Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. I wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you shall rue this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to go all out. All over your face, Monka S, so you won't be able to take it off, even with a scouring pad. Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. It's like that he got bullied, dude. The mood I had come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered into my ear.
おかえり、ケイチ。お父さん大変そうだからそっとしてあげてね。
またアイデアに詰まったわけ？
今回は締め切りが重なったからね。お父さん充電期間がないと大変だから。
Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Maebaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter?
家の中をうろうろしないで、表に散歩でも行った方がアイデアが出るんじゃねえの？
今回は生活空間がテーマだから。
There is no rules in this game, dude. The theme of the piece this time is in the household.
お父さんこの家をモチーフにしたいみたい。
That's quite a bothersome motive.
ケイチ、部屋の中を少しは片付けなさい。みっともないぞ。
ごめん。後で片付けるよ。
Ah, come on. Please don't use my room as the motive.
ケイチ、お夕飯までまだ時間があるから、表でも散歩してらっしゃい。
Dad's moods are only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further.
じゃあそうするかな。
This is a kinetic novel, there are no routes or choices. Yeah. I actually didn't know. If there are choices or not. I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. Let's go to the garbage pile. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about an hour by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creep me out. If Mion or Satoko ever found out about that, I smiled wryly. Oh yeah, Rena was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Randy was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her own me one.
次の部活の時に恩返ししてもらえるかもしれないしな。
With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the damn construction site. I need a drink, dude. My mouth was getting dry. Tomitake-san might be there as well. The only person with information about the incident that both Rena and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. There was a bridge? That is a high-class looking fucking bridge. What the fuck? We didn't see that last time. Free bike! There was a bike. Yo, there might be like cool shit in the fucking garbage piles. I spotted Rena struggling up on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Randy was lodged in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Rena would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitake-san wasn't around, I began climbing down the slope unsteadily.
Yo, Rena, 精が出ますな。
ケイチ君。どうしたのこんなところへ。
A place like this, huh? I see she was aware of it at least.
事故発生の緊急通報を受け参上しました。負傷者はどこでありますか？ランディ君人形がゴミ山に生き埋めになっているとの通報でしたが。
Okay. There was a report that Colonel Randy was buried alive in the trash pile.
なんだ、びっくりした。
Wow.
ケイチ君脅かさないでよ。
I thought someone died again. Oh wait.
冗談だよ。レナが一人で困ってるだろうなって思ってさ、手伝いに来てやったんだよ。
レナのために。
Oh. Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Rena blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake.
冗談だよ。こっちまで恥ずかしくなるだろう。
冗談ってどこからだろう。
Rena where she belongs? What the fuck? I just ignored her bewilderment.
俺どいた。で、どこだよ、ランディ君は。
あ、ごめん。ほら、この隙間から見える？
Date in the trash pile.
こりゃ本当に生き埋めだな。
The Colonel Randy was sideways surrounded by boards and other construction materials like they were caging him inside. According to Rena, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this.
この山を一人でどけるつもりだったのか？その細い腕で。
There's no way she would be able to do that with her slender arms.
でも、ランディ君人形かいいんだもん。お店のランディ君には鎖がついてるけど、これならお持ち帰りできる。
Chain on the Colonel Randy at the store to prevent people from stealing it. But this one doesn't. Oh my god. How? Okay, if Rena gave up on this Colonel Randy, she'll probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Rena's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime.
どいてろよ。俺がやる。
Rena blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If I had got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done.
ケイチ君、レナも手伝えるよ。手伝わせて。
帰って邪魔になるから下がってろって。よいしょー。
Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside, I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky. There's no twilight yet, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it! No matter how much I threw out, there was still more, even though I could see Colonel Randy right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Rena, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed.
本気でやるなら、斧とかノコギリとかがいるかもしれねえな。
Why is there no text chat background? I know what you're saying, but like I tried changing this option and it didn't change anything. Text box transparency. Like it just doesn't exist. Even though I do remember loading the files for it. So it should be on, but it's not on. If I was going to do this seriously, I would need an axe or something.
もういいよ、ケイチ君。
Yo, give me an axe, Rena. You have an axe?
すごい汗だよ。そんな無理しなくてもいいよ。
レナのためにやってるだけだ。気にするな。
Rena began sputtering and turned beet red. Ah, whoops, I meant to say I was trying my best so as to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well.
さすがに休憩。こいつは手強いぜ。
I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope.
ごめんね。すごい汗だく。
Rena patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice.
あのさ、ちょっとここで休んでてね。私、家近いから。
Chat, do you guys remember if Fate Stay Night Real Tanua was 4x3? I think it was 4x3. Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Rena took off running. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Rena was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I had discovered earlier. Monka S. That was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. There were bound stacks of not so reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It was quite a disturbing incident. Oh, I thought he found porn stash. Fuck. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it was just as Tomitake-san said, then undoubtedly there would be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There is no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well, so it had to be recorded somewhere. I unfastened the packages, opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it had happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Rena had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at the dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Rena and Mion said they didn't know. But it had happened without a doubt. As long as Tomitake-san wasn't lying. Then if both Rena and Mion... yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Rena nor Mion wished to talk about. Trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions, that made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa Dam worker lynching, murder by dismemberment. Here it is! The featured article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Rena could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site, lynching and murder dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with... Assailant is the one doing the assault, right? Yeah. An explosive backlash from his daily actions. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as... It happened. It really did happen. It seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was... The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces, the head, arms, legs, and the torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally, a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes. That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder. Done by a group of people. With hatchets. With pickaxes. With a hatchet. Rena dropped the hatchet she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice.
ケイイチくんね、さっきほら斧とかがあると便利だって言ったじゃない。それでね、レナ、物置からちゃんとナタ持ってきたんだよ。
Rena fluttered her arms in panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed I had been glaring at her pretty intensely.
ごめん。ちょっとオーバーに驚きすぎたかな。
こっちこそごめんね。ごめんね。
Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow.
最後の針はそのナタじゃないと壊せそうにない。せっかく持ってきてくれたんだし、明日借りるよ。な。何しょんぼりしてるんだよ。明日にはランディ君が掘り出せるんだぜ。
そうだよね。
Rena just took out this axe for a walk, everyone. No need to worry. Yo, we did need an axe.
早くランディ君をお持ち帰りしたい。
We both knew that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Rena brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. Yeah, path. I'm sorry, okay? Fucking misread. You have received new tips. Damn Project Special Tabloid Report. Dude, this is some fucking Monka Giga, bruh. What you mean, bruh? Chapter 3. Boobs. And then Hinamizawa Dam Project. Chat, we're gonna read those and we're gonna be good for today. (1975). All of a sudden, the date is accurate. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin number 3X, Hinamizawa's electrical development master plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam was to have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The area to be flooded by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa, Takatsudo, Kiyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yagochi. The submerged area would include 291 houses. Population 1251. 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumberyard. I mean, our forestry department lumberyard might be our school. 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and the places of worship were to be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured in their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land was just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance. The dam project was halted and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company, 5X, openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity, and they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onigafuchi Defense Alliance had been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onigafuchi Defense Alliance Committee Chairman Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. Yo, it's not that, like, this is pretty short. I'm thinking if I want to read this though. This is like poopy, you know? Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder dismemberment okay. On this day of this month at the prefecture at Hinamizawa Dam construction worksite in Shishibone City, a bone-chilling, gruesome murder dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam. They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around the shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive. Double X's son had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself into the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, 2X, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area, but the de facto leader feared that the consciences of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. Double X had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. I don't remember if they ever explained exactly they wanted the lake right there anyways, what benefit it would be for the area. I mean, I guess it's the geography. Like, they wanted to build a dam, and when you build a dam, the water starts piling up, and this whole area would be covered. It feels like too large of an area to cover though by a lake of one dam. I don't know. Each one participated, but what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. Double X had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound was what it meant. Thus an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was the one person who stubbornly refused, but Double X threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. But Double X's plan collapsed in the span of one night. Triple X, who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after the other, but the de facto leader, Double X's whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by Double X has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that Double X had said he was going to throw the body right arm into the marsh. Double X's car was discovered abandoned near the marsh, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. Double X didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory, since he has no car. One would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the marsh when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that marsh is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Okikakushi, the ogre's abyss, and it's said that the bottom of the marsh is connected to the hellish world of demons, the atrocious demon from hell that was Double X. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the marsh? Oh, come on. The Zijin Dragonbringer of luck and fortune, prosperous fortune, future, ladies leaping into your arms, business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and horse races, but business and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet DX, one piece. 27,000 yen. I know if you haven't fully watched the anime, what have you been doing with your life? I've seen the whole anime. Okay. I've seen but it was long ago. I've seen the first Higurashi, I've seen Kai Higurashi, I've seen Kira, even though Kira lol. And I think one more, but I don't remember what was the name of that. Alright, chat. We're gonna continue tomorrow. Tomorrow the real spoopy shit begins, as far as I can tell. Thank you guys for watching the shittiest streams this year. Oh my god, it was so fucking bad. My stream went down like 7 times. And the game didn't have voices working for the first 20 minutes, so fun times. But tomorrow we're good, okay? That's first day of first chapter, and we're at chapter 3 out of I don't know how many. Extra. Chapter jump. Oh fuck, I don't know how long it is. 3 hours into yeah, it should be 3 hours into the stream. Alright, yo, continuing tomorrow.